You ever get caught running your mouth and then actually listen to what you were saying and then realized, maybe I should stop talking? Well, I didn't have a situation exactly like that, but I did find that for a little bit, I was putting out a little bit of bovine scatophilia, stretching the truth or perpetuating an untruth, perpetuating a version of the truth that wasn't exactly what I thought it was. So we're talking follow-up in this particular episode. Oh, hi, Chris, C2 Local. Keep forgetting that part. Okay. We're talking follow-up, and let me see. There's a bunch of different places I can go with this. I'm going to see if I can't keep it somewhat concise. So let me hit the bottom line up front first, and then I'll take you on the journey that got me to doing this whole thing I'm doing right now. So, attention. Getting people who are interested in what you're doing, who might want to throw a little cheddar in your direction, to see you. Cool. Conversion. Getting those people to raise their hands, to say, I'm over here, so that you can actually market to them directly, so you know that they're there. And then after that comes what we're talking about today, which is follow-up. Now, I would posit that follow-up is the whole purpose of what you're trying to do. And I will say that that's what brings me over to this document that I created. Pulled information from across the net. It's like solid. And then I had one of those, is it solid? Is it really solid? Or is it just, hey, it sounds good, let's just say it? It's more in that one. So let me see if I can't bring this home. The thing that I want to emphasize to you here is that home run hitting isn't the way to go when it comes to online marketing, to local marketing in general for the small business, the entrepreneur ninja, because most of the people who come across you are not sitting there, hands squeezing their wallet, burning to make a purchase and throw cheddar at you. They're in the, hey, let me figure something out. Let me figure out what I want stage. They'll get to that wallet squeezing stage at some point, but they're not there yet. And if everything that you do from a marketing standpoint is geared towards, I want to buy right now type people, you're really ignoring most of the people that you're going to come across. If I want to continue my baseball analogy, instead of trying to hit home runs all the time, you should be single, double on a regular basis and just move the runner around, because that is going to give you a much better return on investment and much better results in the long run. Because people who just hit home runs, they strike out a lot, an awful lot. Anyway, where this leads to this little document that I'm not sure when I'm going to pop it in front of you, but this little document right here is these two statements right here. Actually, there's three statements right here. So check it out. There's it takes 7 to 12 touches for someone to feel comfortable enough to spend money with you. Only 2% of sales come from your first contact with a new lead. A full 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th time you have contact with a lead. Do I got another one down in here somewhere? I think that's basically about it. I think you can pick up the thread right there. It's basically single, double. It's if you really need to set your system up, your marketing system, to get to the follow-up. Depending on where people are in their buying process, they may be just starting out. They just noticed that they have an issue that they want to work on, or they may be at the tail end of having figured things out. They know what their problem is. They know what solutions are available. They know which one they want to use. And now they're just in the process of figuring out who they want to provide that solution. That's kind of the stair step. It's not a straight line by any means, but the most important thing to think about there is folks don't make a decision based off of just one contact with you. If you throw something out there that's interesting, let's go back to that conversion that helps them make the next step, then you have the opportunity on a consistent basis with a whole lot of people to get them to move in your direction. So the thing that I want you to I was going to do this. get rid of this bad boy right here and talk about, what the data looks like and all that. But this ain't that kind of party. It's just not. The bottom line is what you're trying to do is move mental furniture. When people start off to make any kind of buying decision, they're in a certain mental space. They have a certain, this is who I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for. And you have the ability to adjust that thinking based on what you do from the time you first contact them till the time that they decide to make a sale or decide to make a purchase. And that's where follow-up comes in, because follow-up is the process of sending communications at those key communication points in the process. And that's the part that's easy to overlook. Matter of fact, that's the part that's almost always overlooked. There's one more that's overlooked a little bit more than that, and that's the next thing we're going to talk about. But let me just give you an example. Say you have a form on your website, and it says join my insiders club or something like that. I mean, that's not really a compelling offer, but let's just say for whatever reason, you get people to sign up for your insiders club and you never send them anything else. None. Well, that, and them people being on your list is not really going to help you much because you haven't done anything to change their perception of you. So far, you're still just like everyone else. Your goal when you're out there trying to market to people, again, is not to try to convince people to do things with you. It's try to convince them, to get them to understand that you're the person that they were looking for in the first place. And you do that by providing information. You do that by providing helpful information. One of the things, and I got this from my brother, and it is very crude, so I'm going to have to clean it up a little bit. But basically, there's three kinds of people out there. There's people you like, people you don't like, and people, we'll just call them neutral. You don't care much about them one way, shape, or form. Well, that's who you are to your potential customers when they first bump into you online. You start off as neutral. You're just like everyone else. And then from that moment on, if you can get to the conversion part, get them to raise their hands, or if you can populate your online footprint, all the different places they're going to bump into you with information that moves their mental furniture in the direction that you want them to go, then you can suddenly go from being a net neutral, as I like to say it, to a net positive. Because at the end of the day, one of the other cliches that you're going to bump into over and over and over again, and it's exaggerated, but it's still got some truth to it, is that people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's just one of those great marketing mantras. What nobody tells you is, well, how do you become someone they know, like, and trust? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's the same online as it happens offline. The exact same process. It's just that offline and online is different mechanisms. So step one is proximity. Like you make friends with the people you bump into on a regular basis. Say you ride the bus to work every day and you happen to see someone who gets on when you get on and get off when you get on, or within one or two stops. And after about a year, you just chit chat. You become bus friends or something like that. When you see that person, you feel some kind of way, a little warm and snuggly, because they were net positive. They increased the what am I looking for here? They made your ride to work feel better. Say you go to the supermarket and you keep getting the same cashier, and that cashier always has this great attitude, and you're just like, you know what, that made, I don't care how rough it was fighting my way through the aisles. This part right here, this makes it all worthwhile. Your mental furniture is adjusted by that person's how they come across to you. And you can come up with your own examples of what we're talking about. But the bottom line is that's how we do it in real life. You start with the people you bump into on a regular basis, and then you make your adjustments, your mental adjustments based on, do they rub you the right way? Do they rub you the wrong way? So when I talk about this, as far as follow-up, you'll see a lot of people, and I have to get them to back away from the buffet hard, because a lot of times the first thing that somebody who starts to build an email list or has a customer list wants to do is just pump out offers. Hey, I'm having a 50% offer. Okay, maybe not a 50% offer, but some kind of special offer, something like that. And I have to say, you really got to do more than just send nothing but offers for them to do business with you, because that makes you a net negative. They know that every time you see them, the conversation's going in this direction. You're not doing anything to help them. You're doing something to get something from them. And that's like someone who every time you see them wants to borrow $5 from you. Every time you see them, that first thing that hits you is, oh boy, here we go again. And that's what happens when that's all you send as far as emails are concerned. So your job is to help the people who have already raised their hands, that you understand where they're going, get where they're going. In other words, keep being positive, keep sending positive things. Now, I'm saying follow up and I'm leaving it kind of general because, again, I got a long runway of episodes coming. But the biggest thing that you need to understand is follow up is the thing. You are doing attention to get people to interact with you so you can continue to interact with them and get them to want to work with you. You ain't doing that in one shot. Homer, you're going to do that in several different interactions over time. Single, double. That's what follow-up's about. Follow-up is if you're putting together a system. So let's lay that out there. If you're putting together a system that you can put in place, not have to stress over it and just go, this is just how I do it, and know that that system is going to pay you dividends over the long run in growth as far as your clientele, the number of people you have in your clientele, the number of people who come back on a consistent basis for your clientele. That comes from the interactions that you have with them, the number of times, the number of ways that you provide value to them. So instead of take, you're doing more of a give, because you're helping them get where they want to go to solve whatever problem they have that's in your wheelhouse. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. From a fundamental standpoint, this ain't rocket science. This is just people on people kind of stuff. It's just that it's very easy when you see people online who are talking about all the different tools they have available. They may be talking about a piece of this, but they're not talking about the big picture as to how this whole thing works. So I'm hoping that with this one episode, you get how important follow-up is, start to realize how easy it is to neglect and how injurious, never get the chance to use that word, how injurious not making that a bedrock portion of your marketing process is. Simple stuff. This long pause means I got nothing else to say. So I'm going to break it off here. And as always, if you really want to get the fundamentals in one shot, and you want to have such a nice little reference that breaks it all down for you, c2local.io/blueprint, download it, gives you the whole Megillah. And then if you got any questions about it, you know the deal. Reach out to me. We'll chop it up. Want to make sure you got what you need. All right. That's it for today. I'll hit you the next time.